Story 1. The Man on the Shoulder. I've driven this highway more times than I can remember. It's one of those long, forgotten roads that feels detached from the rest of the world. No businesses, no homes, no lights. Just asphalt stretching forward, and trees pressing in on both sides. At night, it feels even longer, like it never really ends. That night, it was already past 1 a.m. I had just finished a late shift and my body felt heavy. The kind of tired where your thoughts slow down and the silence inside the car becomes louder than the engine. The radio kept cutting out. Music, static, silence. Eventually, I turned it off completely. I didn't want distractions. I just wanted to get home. That's when I saw him. At first, I thought it was my imagination, just a shape on the shoulder of the road. But as I got closer, the shape became clearer. A man, standing perfectly still. He wasn't waving, he wasn't walking. He was just there. His clothes were dark, blending almost completely into the night, except for the way my headlights briefly reflected off his jacket. I slowed down without realizing it. Something about the way he stood didn't feel natural. He was facing traffic, facing me. And as my car approached, I realized something else. He wasn't reacting. Most people would step back, wave, shield their eyes. He did none of that. He simply stood there, staring straight ahead. When my headlights passed over his face, I couldn't see any features. Not because of distance, not because of shadow. It was like his face refused to exist in the light. I passed him, and for a brief moment relief washed over me. I told myself I was being paranoid, that it was just a stranded guy waiting for help. But then, in my rearview mirror, I saw him move. He turned his head, slowly, tracking my car as it drove away. My stomach tightened. I didn't stop. I didn't slow down. I kept driving, trying to steady my breathing. A few seconds passed, then I checked the mirror again. He was walking. Not toward the trees, not away from the road, but along the shoulder, in the same direction I was driving, following. I pressed the gas. The road ahead remained empty, no other cars, no lights, just darkness swallowing everything beyond my headlights. I told myself it was fine, that he would disappear eventually, and then I saw him again, ahead of me, standing on the shoulder, in the exact same position as before, same posture, same stillness, as if he had never moved at all. My heart began pounding so hard I could feel it in my throat. I drove past him again, didn't look, didn't slow, didn't breathe. When I finally reached the exit and pulled off the highway, my hands were shaking uncontrollably. I sat there for a long time before getting out of the car. And when I did, I threw up. I don't know who that man was, but I know one thing. Highways remember. And sometimes they show you what never left. Story 2. The car that wouldn't pass. I was driving home from another city late at night. It was one of those long overnight drives where time feels distorted. Minutes stretch, thoughts drift. The highway was almost completely empty. That's when I noticed headlights behind me. Far back, dim. I didn't think much of it, but minutes passed, and the headlights stayed exactly where they were. Not gaining, not falling behind, just there. I changed lanes. They changed lanes. I sped up. They sped up. I slowed down. They slowed too. The feeling in my chest shifted from curiosity to unease. The headlights looked old, yellowed, like something from a car that didn't belong on modern roads. I still couldn't make out the vehicle itself, just the lights. Eventually, I took an exit, not because I needed to, but because I wanted to see what would happen. The car followed. The road off the highway was darker. No streetlights, no signs, just trees and asphalt. I turned again. So did the car. I pulled over completely, hazard lights on. The car slowed and stopped behind me. I waited. Nothing happened. No doors opened, no engine revved. Then the headlights turned off. Total darkness. I didn't wait to see what came next. I hit the gas and took off. When I finally reached a gas station miles away, I told the clerk what had happened. He listened quietly, then said something that made my blood run cold. "There's no exit back there." I argued. He shook his head. That road was closed years ago. I checked my phone. Maps showed nothing. No road, no exit, no explanation for the car that followed me out of a place that shouldn't exist.
Story 3. The figure in the headlights. Winter changes everything. Sounds travel differently. Distances feel longer, and the dark feels heavier. That night, the snow had started falling hours earlier. Not violently, not in a storm, just enough to blur the world. The highway was almost empty, not abandoned, just quiet in a way that made you feel like you were the only person awake. The kind of quiet where your own breathing sounds too loud. I was driving well below the speed limit, hands tight on the steering wheel, eyes locked forward. The road ahead faded in and out of visibility as snowflakes drifted through my headlights, each one briefly flashing into existence before disappearing again. It felt hypnotic, dangerously hypnotic. That's when something moved. At first, it was just a shift in contrast, a darker shape where there shouldn't have been one. I thought it was a shadow from the trees. Then it stepped forward, directly into the lane. I slammed the brakes. The tires screamed against the icy road. The car skidded sideways just enough to make my heart leap into my throat. For a moment, I was sure I was going to crash. Then the car stopped. Silence, except for the engine idling and my heartbeat. The headlights illuminated it fully now. A figure, standing in the middle of the highway. It was tall, too tall to feel comfortable. Its posture was wrong. Not aggressive, not defensive, just upright, still, like it had been placed there. I sat frozen, staring through the windshield. Snow began settling on its shoulders. It didn't react, didn't flinch, didn't blink. I cracked the window open slightly, just enough to let my voice out. "Hey!" I called. My voice sounded weak, thin. The figure didn't respond. I tried again, louder this time. "Are you okay?" Nothing. The silence stretched, unnaturally long. That's when it tilted its head, slowly. The movement was smooth, deliberate, not curious, not confused, evaluating. And that's when my brain finally caught up to what my eyes were seeing. It didn't have a face. Not hidden, not shadowed. There was simply
nothing there. No features, no depth, just a smooth, lightless surface where a face should be. Like looking into a hole that absorbed all meaning. My chest tightened. My mouth went dry. I couldn't move. The headlights flickered, just once, briefly. In that instant, I was certain the figure had moved closer, but when the lights stabilized, it was in the same spot. Or maybe I just wanted to believe that. The engine suddenly revved, on its own. The sound shattered the stillness. I didn't question it. I didn't think. I just pressed the gas. The car lurched forward, tires struggling for grip, then finally catching. As I passed the figure, I felt something deep in my body recoil, like every instinct was screaming at me not to look. I looked anyway. The head was turned, following me, tracking the car as it went by. I drove faster, faster than I should have on an icy road. The snow thickened, visibility dropped, and then, in my rearview mirror, I saw it. Standing at the edge of the headlight's reach, still watching, not chasing, not retreating, just observing. The longer I drove, the farther it should have been, but it stayed there, perfectly framed, unchanging. Eventually, the road curved, trees blocked the view, and it disappeared. I didn't slow down until I reached the outskirts of town. Streetlights, buildings, signs of life. Only then did my body begin to shake. Later that night, I searched the area online. Accidents, reports, anything. I found something I wish I hadn't. A forum post, years old. Different driver, same highway, same winter conditions, same description. A tall figure, faceless, standing in the road, always watching, never approaching, never leaving. One comment stood out. "People think it's trying to stop you," the user wrote. "But I don't think that's it. I think it's checking something." I don't drive that highway anymore, and on snowy nights, I keep my eyes on the road. Because some things don't want to hurt you. They just want to know that you saw them.